Have you ever watched someone try to sabotage a janitor only to realize she spoke 9 languages and could expose the entire system? What if the quietest person in the room held the power to bring down corruption at the top of a luxury hotel? This isn't just a story about hard work or talent. It's about a woman the world ignored until the moment she chose not to be invisible anymore. Her name was Olivia Mitchell, and for years she scrubbed marble floors at the Brooks Grand Hotel in Chicago. No one knew her story. No one even asked, until one day she broke the rules and spoke, in perfect French. What happened next would unravel a web of betrayal, jealousy, and hidden power plays inside one of the city's most prestigious hotels. But what they didn't count on was that Olivia had been watching, listening, and learning all along. Stay with us because this isn't just about language. It's about voice, and when someone like Olivia finally uses hers, the whole world listens. "You're just a janitor. Why would you even dare to speak?" That sentence echoed through the marble halls of the Brooks Grand Hotel in downtown Chicago. It was unspoken but always there on every face, behind every glance. In a world of 5-star luxury velvet uniforms and imported perfumes, Olivia Mitchell walked unseen. Her white cleaning uniform was spotless, her steps silent, her presence nearly invisible. Most guests never even learned her name. But Olivia carried a secret, a mind sharpened in silence and soaked in pages, soaked in languages. By night, she scrubbed floors. By early dawn, she devoured French novels, Japanese grammar books, and podcasts in Arabic while wiping bathroom mirrors. That morning, the lobby gleamed like crystal under the morning sun. Victoria Caldwell, the hotel's sharply dressed and even more sharply tongued general manager, stalked the floor in her usual stilettos. Everyone stood straighter when they heard her heels. No one dared speak unless spoken to. Then it happened. A woman in a cashmere coat clutched a map and called out loudly, her French accent thick and panicked. "Excusez-moi, y a-t-il une salle de conférence?" She looked around, confused, desperate. The front desk was empty. No concierge in sight. Everyone froze, including Olivia. The rules were clear. Staff like her were not to speak to guests, especially not in foreign languages. But the woman's distress wasn't something she could ignore. Her fingers trembled around the mop handle. Her heart pounded. Should she stay quiet, wait for someone else? But no one moved. So she took a breath and stepped forward. "Bonjour, madame. La salle de conférence est par ici. Je vous accompagne." The woman gasped, relieved, grateful. Olivia guided her gently, speaking in flawless French, using subtle hand gestures, a soft smile, the poise of someone born for this job. The woman thanked her, shook her hand. But Olivia wasn't focused on the gratitude. She felt it, a weight behind her, watching. She turned slowly. There, standing at the entrance of the elevator, was Nathan Brooks, the CEO of the entire hotel chain. He had witnessed everything. Tall, composed, eyes sharp as a scalpel. "You speak French?" he asked, his deep voice cutting through the quiet like a piano in a cathedral. Victoria was already by his side, lips curled into a forced smile. "Mr. Brooks, I'll take care of it." She stepped out of line, but he didn't look at her. He raised his hand to silence her, never breaking eye contact with Olivia. "How many languages do you speak?" he asked. Her throat was dry, but she didn't lower her gaze. "9, she replied calmly. Her voice did not shake. The silence that followed was terrifying. "9, Victoria laughed. "She probably knows a few tourist phrases." "These cleaning girls always exaggerate." Olivia stood taller. "I can demonstrate, if you'd like." Nathan's eyebrow rose. "Go ahead. English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, German, Arabic, Japanese. Mandarin," she said, each in its native pronunciation. "Not flashy, not boastful, just fluent." Victoria's face froze. "And where did you learn all that?" she snapped. "Cleaning rooms and studying at night while my siblings sleep." It was the first time Olivia had ever dared to speak back. Nathan didn't blink. "In my office. 5 minutes." He turned and walked away. Victoria leaned in as she passed Olivia. Her voice was low, venomous. "Whatever game you're playing, it ends now." But Olivia didn't flinch. Something inside her had shifted. Exactly 5 minutes later, she stood outside a walnut door that said Executive Office. Her knuckles hesitated, then knocked. "Come in," Nathan called. The room was minimalist, elegant. He sat behind a desk with no laptop, just a leather notebook and a pen. He gestured for her to sit. "You're not in trouble," he said. "I just want to know why 9 languages." Olivia stared at the floor for a second. "Because it's the only thing I own. My parents died 7 years ago. I've been raising my siblings alone. I've worked here since I was 18. I barely sleep. I study between mop strokes. I listen to grammar lessons while scrubbing toilets. Learning languages. It's how I keep breathing." Nathan was silent. Then he scribbled something into the notebook. "I have a meeting in 3 days. Japanese investors. We don't have anyone fluent enough. Would you join?" Olivia blinked. "Was this real?" "Yes," she whispered, then said louder. "Yes, I believe I can." He smiled just a little. "Then prepare. This hotel has overlooked too much talent for far too long." She left the office with her heart burning, not with pride, but something deeper. Someone had seen her. Someone who mattered. But not everyone was pleased. That afternoon, she felt the shift. Conversations stopped when she entered. Staff looked away or whispered behind her. Gregory Stone, one of the most senior advisors, laughed at her role during a team meeting. "What's next?" "A dishwasher leading the marketing department." Victoria didn't even hide her hostility. "You're still cleaning staff," she hissed at Olivia in the hallway. "One slip and you're back in the restroom with a sponge in your hand. You can imitate all the accents you want, it won't change that." Olivia didn't respond. Not yet. The next morning, she was pulled from her cleaning duties and moved into a small office space, a temporary setup to prepare for the investors' meeting. Between stacks of outdated files and fading sticky notes, she trained like a soldier. Grammar drills, cultural etiquette, business terminology. Every moment was war prep. But deep down, she knew it wasn't just a meeting she was walking into. It was a test, and someone, maybe many, were waiting for her to fail. "We're so sorry to interrupt the story here. We know it's just getting intense, but we promise what happens next will surprise you. Before we continue, can we ask, do you believe people like Olivia deserve second chances, even when others try to silence them? Have you ever felt underestimated, like your voice didn't matter until one moment changed everything? Tell us where you're watching from. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and tap that heart. It helps us share more voices that deserve to be heard." The Brooks Grand Hotel had always run like a well-oiled machine. But behind the polished wood panels and glass chandeliers, a silent war was brewing, and Olivia Mitchell was now at the center of it. After her unexpected invitation into the CEO's office, things moved quickly. Olivia was officially assigned to assist in the upcoming meeting with Japanese investors. She no longer carried a mop, but instead a notepad filled with business phrases in kanji, cultural etiquette notes, and names of executives she had only heard whispered about in break rooms. Her tiny new desk was wedged into the corner of the admin wing. No nameplate, no welcome, just a space. She worked silently, intensely, reviewing reports and financial projections while sipping instant coffee. But she could feel the stares, the shifting energy around her. She wasn't supposed to be there. Not in their world. Then came the first sabotage. On a Monday morning, Olivia arrived to find her computer locked. Password rejected. 3 failed attempts and the system shut her out completely. When she went to the IT department, they shrugged. No one requested a password change, they said, eyes darting away. That week, she was mysteriously marked unavailable for a critical prep meeting with senior management. When she showed up anyway, the doors were already closed. "Ms. Caldwell said you weren't attending." The assistant mumbled, not meeting her eyes. Back in the break room, whispers multiplied. "She thinks she's too good now. 9 languages, but still no degree. This won't end well for her." Still, Olivia pressed on. Every night at her cramped apartment, she studied, while her little brother Caleb finished his homework beside her, and Sophie, her younger sister, taped a photo of Olivia to a school poster titled "My Hero." But inside the hotel, the pressure mounted. The day of the investor meeting arrived. Olivia wore a borrowed blazer, slightly too big, and heels that blistered. But her posture was perfect, her voice calm. The room was filled with suits, polished shoes, and thin smiles. Nathan Brooks gave her a nod. It was go time. She introduced herself to the investors in Japanese. Her greeting was flawless, intonation, honorifics, subtle bows. The clients leaned in, visibly impressed. Everything was going perfectly, until it wasn't. One of the executives opened a presentation folder and paused. His brow furrowed. He murmured to a colleague, Then he turned toward the table. "These graphs are incomplete," he said in Japanese, but Olivia translated instantly. The room fell silent. Gregory Stone stood, fingers steepled. "That folder was prepared by Miss Mitchell herself," he announced loud enough for everyone to hear. Olivia's stomach dropped. Her heart hammered in her chest. That folder was not the one she had prepared. Nathan glanced at her, searching her expression. "I'd like to clarify," Olivia said calmly. "There must have been a mistake. I have the original saved." Nathan nodded slowly. "Retrieve it. Now." She walked out of the room, legs shaking beneath her. Back at her desk, she pulled up the file. There it was, complete, detailed, time-stamped. She printed it, straightened her blazer, and walked back in like her life depended on it. One by one, she laid the correct folders in front of the Japanese executives, bowing slightly at each delivery. They opened them, whispered, nodded. One gave her a small thumbs up. Another smiled. Gregory's smirk faded. Nathan folded his hands. "Seems someone jumped to conclusions," he said, casting a glance that landed like a dagger in Gregory's chest. But the damage had already been done. The attempt to humiliate her had been clear, calculated. Olivia knew this was just the beginning. That night, as the hotel quieted down, Olivia sat in the staff lounge, staring at her old green ID badge, her cleaning uniform folded beside it. She wasn't proud. She was tired and angry. The next morning, she found her locker pried open. Someone had gone through her things. A note had been slipped under her keyboard. "Stay in your lane." But Olivia didn't back down. She couldn't. Not after everything. Later that week, while reviewing documents for another project, she noticed something odd in the budget report's numbers that didn't match. Dates that didn't make sense. Amounts that disappeared. She dug deeper. What she found chilled her: falsified vendor contracts, duplicate invoices, and names tied to Gregory Stone and Victoria Caldwell. This wasn't just sabotage, it was fraud. She printed everything, kept copies, and late one night she left a sealed folder on Nathan Brooks's desk. No name, no explanation. 3 days passed in silence. Then an unexpected email landed in her inbox: emergency meeting. Conference room B. All senior staff present. The room was full when Olivia walked in. Nathan stood at the front, calm but unreadable. Without a word, he connected his laptop to the projector. Numbers appeared, signatures, email chains, evidence. Gasps filled the air. Gregory's eyes widened. Victoria paled. Nathan looked directly at them. "Before I continue, does anyone here have something to say?" Gregory stood. "This is fabricated." Nathan didn't flinch. "The documents were verified, the payments traced. I know exactly who authorized them." Victoria spoke next. "This is a witch hunt, a personal vendetta. She's a janitor. Who's going to believe her?" But the room didn't laugh. No one nodded. Instead, someone in the back whispered, "I believe her." Nathan finally turned to Olivia. "Do you have anything to add?" She took a breath. "Only this," she said. "The truth doesn't need defenders. It just needs to be seen. And today it finally is. We hate to pause the story at this exact moment, especially when everything is unraveling, but we promise it gets even more intense from here. Let us ask you something. Have you ever been targeted simply for trying to rise above what others expected of you? What would you do if you found proof of something that could destroy powerful people? Tell us where you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories travel. And if you believe in truth, courage, and second chances, please like the video and tap the heart. Let's keep this story going. When Olivia Mitchell stepped out of that conference room, she didn't feel triumphant. She felt quiet, calm. Not because the battle was over, but because for the first time she had fought back and been heard. In the days that followed, Gregory Stone was suspended pending investigation. Victoria Caldwell attempted to push back, claiming it was all a vendetta, but the evidence was undeniable. Nathan Brooks made it clear silence had protected the wrong people for too long. Yet Olivia knew this wasn't the end, it was the beginning of something bigger. Whispers turned to conversations. People who once ignored her began stopping by her desk, asking for help translating a tricky email, navigating a cultural nuance, or even just asking her opinion. For the first time, they weren't afraid to be seen talking to her. One afternoon, a young woman from events approached nervously. "I have a presentation in English. Could you look it over with me?" Olivia smiled. Of course. Later, a barista from the cafe left a note on her chair. Thank you. You made me feel like I could be more. Even Nathan seemed changed. Less like a CEO, more like someone awake. One evening, he invited Olivia to the hotel's old library, her favorite place. I'm starting a foundation, he said, to support underrepresented talent, people who are brilliant but invisible. I want you to help build it from the ground up, as a partner. Olivia was speechless. He placed a white envelope on the table. Also, the World Leadership Conference in Boston is next month. They want someone from Brooks Grand to speak. I want that person to be you, she blinked. Me speaking to CEOs? Nathan chuckled. Yes, because you're not just someone with 9 languages. You've got something rarer conviction. She stared at the envelope. Her hands trembled, but not with fear, with purpose. At night, she still came home to her tiny apartment. Caleb still left dishes in the sink. Sophie still asked for help with school projects. Nothing had changed and everything had. You're not going to stop being our sister, right? Caleb asked over lentil soup one night. Olivia laughed. Never. I just want to be a sister who opens doors for all of us. And then Boston. The conference hall was grand. Glass ceilings, velvet chairs, men in $1,000 suits. Olivia stood backstage, her palms damp, staring at her reflection. Then she heard her name. She stepped onto the stage. My name is Olivia Mitchell, she began, and before standing here, I spent years cleaning hotel bathrooms, floors, in silence. The kind of silence that tells you to stay in your place. She looked across the crowd. No one moved. I wasn't supposed to speak, but I did. And when I did, everything changed. Not just for me, but for everyone who thought they had to wait for permission to matter. She spoke not of numbers or strategy, but of people, of dignity, of the unseen potential that fills every hallway, every kitchen, every back office. When she finished, there was a pause, then applause, long, real. Back at the hotel, change rippled. A suggestion box overflowed with ideas. A quiet woman from housekeeping was promoted to floor manager. Caleb started learning Japanese. Sophie wrote an essay titled, My Hero Doesn't Wear a Cape. Then one day, Olivia walked past the staff lockers. Her old uniform still hung inside, and above it, her faded green ID badge. She held it for a moment. Why are you smiling? Sophie asked, appearing behind her. I'm saying goodbye, Olivia said softly. To being invisible. She handed Sophie the badge. For what? So you'll always remember, we don't have to stay where the world puts us. One day, we just move. Weeks later, inside the newly launched Brooks Foundation, a small glass case was installed. Inside the green badge. Below it, a plaque that read, Dignity needs no title, only space to grow. And that space that was now wide open. Now let us ask you, have you ever silenced yourself because you thought you didn't belong? Do you believe companies should look beyond titles and see the person underneath? We'd love to know what you thought of this story. If it moved you, comment number 3 down below. If it felt just okay, comment number 2. And if it wasn't quite what you hoped, comment number 1. We welcome all feedback. Tell us which country are you watching from? And if Olivia's journey inspired you, please tap the heart and share this video because someone else out there may need to know they too have a voice worth hearing.